Thank you.
On the air.
January 25th, 2023. Welcome to the Oakland Mayor and Council meeting. At this time, roll call.
Mayor Schwager,
Here.
Councilman Kamala.
Here.
Councilman McCann,
Here.
Councilman Pigmentelli.
Here.
Councilman Saliani,
Here.
Councilman Szynski,
Here.
Councilman Talamini.
Here.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. The meeting will adjourn at 10 p.m. unless the majority of the council members that are present vote to extend the time. At this time, I ask you to look at your phones, put them on mute, and please refrain from texting. It is discourteous, disruptive, and could be construed as a violation of the Open Public Meetings Law. And at this time, please stand for the pledge and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. This is the second meeting of the year. The first meeting was on January 4th. It was the reorganization meeting. And it was an emergency. I could not make it. That night, my husband had a stroke, and I ended up at the emergency room with him. I apologize, and I want to congratulate John McCann, Kevin Szynski on their re-election, and they were sworn in. And thank you for swearing in the volunteer firemen that evening. I had something to write, so I will read what I would have said on January 4th. And I also want to thank everyone up here. I mean, you've been wonderful with my husband, and thank God he's doing well. The Valley Hospital is great. I thank Valley Hospital for saving him, and all is well. And just remember, always family comes first. This is what I would have said. Our Borough Clerk, Michael Corelli, congratulations on being officially licensed and being our official Borough Clerk. And I thank you for all the I was going to talk about the planning board meeting, but that passed, but the next planning board meeting will be on February 9th. And then my message was going to be, last year we held our oath of office meeting in person for the first time since the pandemic, and now we are in person all the time, and it's just very good to be around people. It's important to be with people, and I want to thank everybody. And from the year 2022, there are just so many people to thank, and our borough employees, they have been wonderful. Our doors at Borough Hall were always open. We continued working. We've had open doors all the time, so thank you so much. Our DPW workers, if it was snowing tonight, you'd appreciate how much our DPW workers are working. They're terrific. When it snows, you know when you hit the borders of Oakland when it snows because our roads are clear. If there's a pothole and you call them, they will come and fix the pothole. If there's any issue, we've had water main breaks with all the work being done, especially on Lakeside. No matter what time of night or what day of the week, they're out there working. So I thank all our DPW workers, and thank you. Our volunteer fire department, we are so lucky, and our first aid squad members, and unfortunately, being the recipient with my husband that night, I can tell you they were there, they were wonderful, they are compassionate, they're patient, they're just great. So thank you to all our volunteer fire department workers and our volunteer first aid squad workers and the police. Our police are, they're good. They are just, excellent, excellent. I thank all the volunteers who serve on our boards and commissions during the year 2022. In fact, the Sustainable Green Team did so much work, we were able to get the silver certification. The board members, the commission members, the committee members, you give so much of your time and so much of your hard work, and you don't get paid. And so it's costing you money too, and thank you. And to my fellow elected officials on the council, thank you. Thank you for working together with me. You know, we all have different personalities and we all work differently, but working together, we're working together for the good of Oakland, for the best interest of all our residents, and for a good quality of life in our town, which we have. So thank you to my fellow elected officials on both sides here. Not both sides of the aisle, but both sides. On my left side and my right side. Thank you. And what can I say? We have, well, I learned this from after that last week. We received a grant for our park improvement grant of $127,995. And just this week, we got a $13,000 grant for that senior citizen outdoor furniture. And goals for this year, Bush Plaza. Great, it's gonna be great, it's good. And you know what? We now are revitalizing our Oakland Chamber of Commerce. We had an excellent event last Thursday evening, and we're gonna get the businesses involved, and we're gonna revitalize our town and really get everything going, because sewers are going to be coming. And I know everybody thinks, my husband thinks it's a dream of mine. He keeps saying, when I moved into town and we were told sewers are coming, and that's over 40 years ago. But it's getting close, and we want to be proactive. We want to be ready for the sewers in downtown. So, but it's going to be there, and I really think that we have to prepare and get ready for sewers. The Stream House, we have a meeting on Friday. Hopefully it will become the children's museum that I've been hoping for. And people from Access for All, thank you. A special thank you to former Councilman Grant Van Eck, who really, if it wasn't for him, I don't think you guys would have been getting involved. He really encouraged you. And Interact at Indian Hills High School wants to work with you on another project, so I will talk to you afterwards. They're very interested on another project. It's just a great service for our town. We have the sidewalks on 202, another project. Public events. It keeps getting better and better, our public events committee, and last year was the first time Danny D'Elia, I kept nudging him and say, Danny, it will be so great if we could get the parade of lights, of vehicles, and he was able to get a small parade, and it's going to be even bigger this year for the holiday celebration. Now, I'll talk about the water last. Children. The children are our biggest asset in Oakland. We have so much to offer them, not just the public events, our recreation program, our schools. And I attend so many Eagle Scout programs, which is incredible. You know, when I go to these Eagle Scout programs, I meet children from other towns, and they said, why, you know, you don't live in Oakland, why are you in an Eagle Scout program in Oakland? They said, because this is one of the best Eagle Scout programs that we have. And so we have Eagle Scouts. We have, I coach the mock trial team up at Indian Hills High School. In fact, tonight is the first trial in Hackensack. These students, freshmen up to seniors at the high school, they participate in a mock trial. We have both sides. They compete, and they go to that courthouse in Hackensack, and they actually do a full trial, and it is the most impressive thing to watch. And I am so proud of the students at Indian Hills who do this. We have the program in our municipal building that I started, the intern program. If you know of any juniors in high school that are juniors and will be seniors next year, they can apply to intern for a couple of weeks in the municipal building, just to see what it's like. You know, in the summer, everybody takes their vacations, there's always some extra work to do. It's an intern program, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and it looks good on their resume, so when they apply to college as a senior, it's very good to them. Our junior police academy, 3 big things. The Patriots Way Bridge, not forgotten. If you live in Round River Reserve, we're working on that. Downtown revitalization, it is, we're working on that plan, and we have a plan. In fact, we just had a meeting tonight. But I want to talk about the water because we have to send out a quarterly newsletter. From the state requires us to put in certain things. And so the newsletter, the little pamphlet went out last week, and my phone has not stopped ringing, nor has my email. It's been burning, my email about our water. And I would just like to explain what's going on. Our water quality has not changed. What has changed are the standards. The state has decided to up the standards. The water is the same as it has been. It is safe to drink. This is sink water we're drinking up here. It's safe. The standards have changed, so we have to abide and satisfy and comply with the state standards. In order to do that, we have already set the plans in place, and we are ready to go out for bid. We can't because it takes a permit to do so. And the DEP in the state has not given us our permits. We've applied and we're waiting. And in fact, it was last year, I think, we passed the resolution to expedite the permit process and expedite the grant process and even waive the permit process, some of the fees. Instead, the state is taking its time. We don't have the permits. Without the permits, we can't construct and do any construction. We are working hard. And all of us are making calls to our congressmen, to our state representatives, to our state senator, our legislators, the governor's office. We are trying to get some money. I know it was in the paper today because I got a call immediately in the record that Wawa received $800,000 towards a grant. And this resident said to me, so now they don't have to pay for water filtration. That's not true. Mawa has a lot more money. It's going to cost them a lot more money than it's going to cost us. $800 is $800,000. Is not going to give them free water filtration. It's partial. We have tried. We're trying to get a grant. Unfortunately for us, and I am not part, and none of us up here are part of the redistricting process. But we went from one congressional district to the second, another congressional district. We have to work with our new congressman to try and get some money. But we're trying to get those permits from the state. Listen, if anybody here has any connections with the state to get us this permit as quickly as possible, we're all trying. One resident suggested maybe if we all start writing letters to DEP, that would help us get the permits. We're ready to go to the filtration system. We're not the only town. Everybody all over the state, all over the country is having the same issues. And I repeat, the pamphlet made it sound like the water, you can't drink the water, and it's not true. The water quality has not changed. And what has changed are the brand new standards from the state. And we are working on it. As soon as we get those permits, we will get going. And I know people are going to ask questions, and at the end I'll have our borough administrator answer all your questions if you have questions. But remember, we're ready to go as soon as we get those permits from the state. Why they're holding up? If it's such an emergency, and I've talked to the councilman here, if it was such an emergency, you would think they would give us the permit immediately. But they're holding it up. We don't know why. We don't know what's taking them so long in the state to get us the permit. We need those permits to start the construction. Also, it's one well we're down to. The water is mixed together. So even though the one well, the standard is not in satisfaction to the state standards, when you mix all the water together, it is balances out, and it is, it's fine. And as I finish, I'm going to drink the water. And I'm gonna finish, I'm not gonna say anything more. I'm going to open this, I'm going to ask for motions open to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anyone like to speak? You could speak about anything you want. It's not gonna be a debate, but at the end, if it's about water, we'll have our administrator speak. Okay. The microphone's in the ceiling, so all you have to do is stand there.
Gotcha.
And everybody will hear you, and you have to give your name and address.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dean Trevisani, and I live at 207 Ramapo Valley Road in Oakland here. And I've lived in Oakland my whole life, 58 years. And this is my wife, Joyce Trevisani. She's also lived in Oakland her entire life. And she's the science end of this stuff. I want to talk about the water, okay? We did a little research. There's a couple of things that it's kind of bothering me.
Just a
You know,
couple?
and I want to thank Mr. Kunz, actually, for giving me a call back the other night. I did put a call into the town, and he responded and explained a few things to me. But some of the issues that are out there is, you know, I read about, you know, Mawa getting an $800 grant. Ridgewood,
800,000.
800,000, I'm sorry. Ridgewood got a $3 million. They sued, I believe, 3M, and they also sued DuPont. And I'm concerned that maybe some of the waters from the DuPont situation are running into our water system. We don't know for sure. But I think there are things that we can do maybe to go after those people, and that might be something for the councilman or, you know, or whatever to go into. I wrote a few things down here that, I mean, one of the things that did disturb me a little bit when I talked to Mr. Kunz last night was that, yeah, if we do, this does cost us $1.5 million, $2 million, that's gonna end up coming out of our pockets. And that's one of the things that really disturbs the heck out of me. We are paying one of the highest taxes out of anybody in New Jersey. You know, and maybe I'm incorrect on that, but our taxes are pretty darn high. I'm paying almost $20,000 a year for my taxes in my house and property down there. All right, and now to then pay more money, I got a pool too. So sometimes I fill up the pool. So I feel the dollars coming out, okay? For us not to be able to go somewhere else or get a grant or find money from some of these corporations is ridiculous. We need to find a way to pay for this stuff. One of the things that bother me a little bit is, you know, you can get these same things from Teflon pans, you can get, you know, the PFAS from other things. Well, we don't need to add to it, because then it only makes it that much worse. Okay, and again, my wife can probably explain the science of it a little bit better, and I know I only have about 3 minutes. Maybe she can get some of the other 3 minutes, but anyway. The other thing was that Bergen County is ranked number 4 in the country for PFAS and other chemicals that are in our water system. Number 4 nationwide, and that's disturbing too. We should be more alarmed than we are, because if it's that bad now, could it be that much worse later? I don't know. Ridgewood, with their $3 million, has gotten rid of the PFAS and what have you in there, and that's what it said in NorthJersey.com. All right, so I'll give this to you, Mayor Schwager, afterwards, if you like. The other concern is that, out of concern, I mean, I'm kind of a health nut these days, and I drink a gallon of water every day. So one of the things it says in there is if you're not drinking water to excess, it's okay, which for a while I didn't. But you know what? I'm suffering from some of the things that are listed in the brochure that you gave here. Some of those ailments are things that I'm affected by, and I've been in this town for 58 years. So that's why I'm also concerned. Okay, so I think I have a right to be concerned. I sent out a blog in Facebook, the Oakland page, and some of you might have seen it. But I got 193 responses in a day of people that were concerned. One of the persons also talked about that they took their cats to the vet. They did a blood test on them, and the doctor said they shouldn't be drinking tap water. They should be drinking bottled water. Now, I have 2 cats, all right? I don't really like them that much, but that's okay. My kids do, okay? No, but the thing is that, you know what, now you gotta be concerned if you love your pet and everything, that they're drinking the water and it's possibly affecting us. You know, how come these other towns have gotten to this point and we haven't? I don't understand. My wife, I think, can talk a little bit more about the science and some of the concerns that I don't think is being communicated enough. I think we're being a little light on that.
Yes, so I just wanted to say that I'm hearing frequently that it's not the water that has changed, it's the standards that have changed. That may be entirely true. We've been drinking the water ever since we were born, because we were both raised in this town. The standards have changed.
Could you give us your full name?
My name is Joyce Trevisan.
Oh, okay, sometimes, you know, it's a different name,
I'm
sorry.
a retired biology teacher, 34 years in the classroom teaching biology and advanced placement biology. I have a master's degree in molecular biology. I've read studies on this. The reason the standards have changed is because we now have the research that indicates that these chemicals are in fact what they consider to be forever chemicals. That means they don't biodegrade over time, period. So any we add to the environment just keeps going up and up and up and up. So these forever chemicals are of a much greater concern biologically to everyone who ingests them over their lifetime. In the Journal of Exposure Science and Environmental Epidemiology in January of 2019, it was stated that although there is no federal regulation at this time for these particular chemicals, that there have started to become more and more local regulation. We are fortunate that now our standards have changed. That means we are adopting local regulations to protect our drinking water, because one of our rights as taxpayers is to have drinkable, clean water. And the exposure levels have been set at specific maximums for a reason, because those maximums are that level at which it has been tied to or linked to high cholesterol, change in liver function, a reduced immune response, including antibody production, which indicates that we will all have reduced responses to vaccines, including COVID vaccines. Thyroid disease, increases in kidney cancer, testicular cancer, endocrine, which means hormonal issues, some of which the research I read myself was terrifying. It talked about aquatic species that exposed to these chemicals had been virtually sex changed. They had become female due to specific endocrine or hormonal changes, reproductive changes, changes to the fetus of a newborn when lactation occurs, when drinking mother's milk. So we're talking about a lot of studies, and a lot of links to these chemicals. So that's why, yes, the water hasn't changed, but the standards have changed. We know more. That's why.
Thank you, that's, could I get some of that information?
Of course.
From you? Thank you.
My father always told me to marry a smart woman, and that's what I did.
I know your father,
Because
I
I'm
knew
not too
him.
bright, but that's another story. Anyway, but, so I think you can now understand some of the concerns we have and the reason why we don't think it should be looked at so lightly. And one of the other things I was thinking of too is that, you know, I talked to a company to provide me a filter, a proper filter for my water system, for my drinking water. Not necessarily for my shower or my sinks in my bathrooms or whatever.
What?
Reverse osmosis.
Reverse
is the name of the
osmosis,
system.
thank you. That's why I married a smart woman. But reverse osmosis, which in fact would get rid of most of those issues with that. But in order for me to get it, the minimum would be about $1,650. What I don't understand is also why we haven't thought about giving some sort of, whether it's a tax break or something, or a tax rebate or something like that, to the townspeople of Oakland, to maybe help compensate for some of the costs that we might be associated with having to add filters to our houses. I mean, I've already got a water conditioner in my house that cost me several $1,000s because of the hard water that we get. Because I was losing my electric heaters and what have you, water heaters, because the buildup in them. So I had to get a water softener. All right, that's a problem with the town water. If it's that hard that it's ruining the systems in my house, you know, but you know what, I took that on the chin. But I'm getting tired of taking it on the chin with the taxes, with the money we're gonna have to pay additional for the water and all of this other stuff. So that's my concern, and I respect the work that you people do, I really do, but I think we can do a better job, I really do.
Well, I think our water committee, Councilman Pignatelli and Councilman Slazinski, will have to have a follow-up meeting,
All right,
and we'll get some answers out
thank you for letting me share.
anytime. Thank you for the information. I'll wait to get that. Anybody else? If not, motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Khan, do you want to speak on some of those numbers? You had some information about Marwa and Ridgewood.
Right, I mean, it's my understanding, certainly with Ridgewood specifically, because I spoke with them last year after they got their grant. Both towns that you mentioned, which are two of probably dozens in this region and throughout the state that are facing the same challenges that Oakland is, they were successful in getting that money through the congressional earmark process, member designated project program that was started 2 years ago again by Congress. Borough had put in both years for other projects, for Patriots Way Bridge in particular. That was what we saw as our overall funding priority in terms of dollar cost. Okay, we were not successful in getting those grants. They didn't move through and make it to the final congressional legislation. Unfortunately, for the number of applications that Congress people and senators receive, a small fraction wind up getting funded. In speaking with Ridgewood, they got $2-point-something million, and that's great. Their overall cost to rehab their system is somewhere north of $10 million. Okay, and I don't know what the article, I didn't see that article. I don't know if it said that it's complete or not. I know this time a year ago, they had a ton of work to do. Not just putting in treatment systems, but piping of raw water to minimize the points of distribution, a whole, something much more complex and costly than what we're talking about here in Oakland. So, in that sense, we're all facing the same challenge. In another sense, our solutions are somewhat unique depending on our circumstances. I can tell you that as soon as we were aware that we were going to be, going over those running annual averages, if we were going to have a problem with compliance, we were initiating, plans to start dealing with that. Okay, so I think that we've moved very expeditiously as we can under the circumstances to get treatment in place. And as the mayor had indicated, as soon as the DEP provides the permits, we were ready to go out to bid. So I just wanted to convey that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
And again, I think the water committee will be meeting, and maybe we could get something out to all the residents and keep up to date. Yeah.
I'd like to add something. It's been pointed out, notwithstanding your good research, I actually did the same research about 6 months ago and came to some of the same conclusions. I've got 2 cats and 3 dogs.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's an interesting night sometimes. The issue, though, for us is really the expeditious process that the state holds on permits. We have taken action prior to me coming onto the council last, I think it was June or May, because one of the things I was inquiring about myself, based upon what I read. And the borough has been moving on it. The problem is the DEP, who's supposed to be protecting the environment, protecting us, is really slow walking the permit process, because we are taking steps for correction as what we believe has caused the problem. From a legal perspective, on your comments, Dean, if there's a way to hold other people accountable, I can assure you there's 3 lawyers on this council that are pretty good. And
Oh, thank you. I assume you meant me too.
well, I said council.
Okay.
Amen. So so that are pretty good, and I don't see the cause in one town being equal to the cause of another town. Okay, I'm sorry for your sincerely sorry for your health issues. I've been struggling with, since COVID, myself, with various weird, like polycystic kidney disease, you know, as one of the issues that comes up in that research myself. So I'd also want to take just exception. I don't think we're taking it lightly. I know that it may seem, in terms of the attitude throughout the town, as not being five alarm bell, but it is a five alarm bell for all of us, because we all live here, we all pay the same. There's no one here that's exempt from property taxes, and we are going to resolve this. And one of the things since you got all those responses, and you could work this with the committee, the specific committee, we would love for the town to write to the DEP and send 1,000 letters down to the DEP and say, we need our town to permit process, because the permits requests are in, and we're waiting, and we need that help, you know.
If I can get into Pasquarello's office, will that help?
Oh, 100%.
Wait a minute. First of all, it's not a debate, but I
Yeah.
was on the phone with Pasquale today. Excuse me, Congressman
I'm
Pasquale.
sorry, I apologize.
Congressman Pasquale today. He is in DC this week and next week, and as soon as he comes back, they promised me I will sit down with him, and I told him I want him in Oakland, and I'm gonna have him drink water. We'll try. I
Yeah.
will call you.
We
Yes,
definitely-
I will call you. I have your number.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Councilman.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have approval of the minutes of January 4th, 2023. Motion,
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Now we have appointments, which was supposed to have been made on January 4th, and to all our professionals, I apologize again. But this is a borough form of government. In the borough form of government, the mayor introduces a name, and the name comes out of, we have an administrative committee, and they went through all it's called RFQs, request for qualifications of interested professionals, and I will say the name of the recommendation from the committee, then a councilman will have to make a motion, second it, and then it'll be a roll call. And so for the year 2023, and in the borough form of government, if I do not mention the name in January, the first meeting in February, it will be totally, the council will make a nomination and then second it. And so that's how we do it. So for tonight, I'm going to start with the labor attorney, and the name that has been provided by the committee is Kathy Elston from Elston and Associates. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept Kathy Elston's RFQ.
Second.
Roll call. Oh, I'm sorry, any other names? I'm sorry.
Well, no, Mayor, I mean, you can nominate, this is for advice and consent, you have a motion, there could be a second.
There's a second.
Yeah,
Okay,
then-
so now
then
it's
it can
roll call.
proceed.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
The next one is engineer, and the name is, I set forth, I submit Kevin Boswell from Boswell Engineering. Motion.
Motion to nominate and accept Mr. Boswell's firm's RFQ.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Water and
Thank you.
sewer, oh, I'm sorry. Water and sewer engineer, Kevin Boswell, Boswell Engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes. Thank you again.
Oh, that's you saying thank you. Oh, I didn't know who was saying thank you. I thought it was, I'm sorry.
My parents taught me well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Catholics.
Auditor Gary Vinci from Lurch, Vinci and Bliss. Motion.
Motion for Gary Vinci?
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Bond counsel Steve Rogert from Rogert McCarthy LLC. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
For planner, do I say the name of the company? It's Kathy Ryder from T&M.
Yes.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Risk manager, health benefits risk manager, Dave Vaza from Vaza Agency.
May I, point of order?
Yeah.
I think her name is Carolyn Ryder, not Kathy.
Carolyn?
Yes.
I said Kathy?
R-E-I-T-E-R.
Yeah, right.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
All right.
I thought you said
for the-
Carolyn.
Could you amend that for the record? Is it Carolyn? Kathy?
Carolyn.
Carolyn. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, Carolyn Ryder. Okay, risk manager, health benefits, Dave Vaza from Vaza Agency.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Risk manager, and it is it Kim? Kim Casamano? Is it Kim? From, what is it, Oster?
Oster,
How do you pronounce it?
Osterstead.
Ottersted.
That's the
excuse me.
one. Someone make a motion.
Motion for Osterstead.
Second?
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
For prosecutor, William Benwick of Pierce Law.
Motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Council members
Oh, I'm
Kamala?
sorry.
Yes.
Oh, you waited for me
McCann?
to say roll
Yes.
call.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Alternate prosecutor, Christopher Kane.
Motion?
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Public defender, Diane D'Alessandro.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Alternate public defender, Matthew Seymour.
Motion? Second?
Roll call.
Matthew Seymour.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Now we have appointments. The first group of appointments are mayor and council appointment. That I make the motion, right?
Correct.
I submit, all right. The Arts Committee, it's in alphabetical order this year, so thank you. The Arts Committee is, they're all one-year terms. So I'll just, is it okay if I read all the names, or if anyone wants pulled out, let me know. Natasha Navidad Hone, Judy Peretra, Allison Fleeson, Alexandra Mazur, Tracy Di Natola, April Mansfield, Amy Eilert, Andrea Levy, Madhav Dua, Vilma Murkov, Peter Marklis, Kevin Bagar. Is there a motion?
Second?
So moved.
Any pull out? Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Okay, Environmental Commission. There are two people that are up for reappointment, and that's William Eilert and Tony Bertuna. Is there a motion for both?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
And these are for two, they each have a 3-year term. I can appoint someone, and for reasons that I cannot disclose. Flood Commission. We have Lou Levy, who is reappointment, and so it's Lou Levy. He's been the president of the chairman of the Flood Commission since I can recall. So he put in for a 3-year term. Is there a motion? For Lou Levy.
Oh, motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Taliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
And if anybody is interested at all in the Flood Commission, we still have a vacancy. It would be a 3-year term. We would love to have you on the Flood Commission. It's a very worthwhile committee. On public events, we have the people that for reappointment, that put in for reappointment for 3-year terms are Kevin Bagar, Andrea Levy, Chris Pawelko, and Vilma Murkov. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Just a quick plug for the public events. Thank you for reapplying, guys. It's just great what you guys do, and we really appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you. And we have 1, 2, 3 members did not put in. Do you know if they're still interested? Joseph Aglima, Michael Kozak, and Brenda Kamala. And Vilma Murkov. Do you know if they're interested?
Vilma, I think we just approved, right?
No, it was, no, I made a mistake. She didn't put in. It was Allison Gleason. Who's interested?
Oh, all right, I'll talk to them.
Okay, so then we have an interested person, Allison Gleason, and we have quite a few vacancies on the public events, and we'd love to have you if you're interested. It's a great committee. So I propose to submit the name of Allison Gleason. Your motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
And that's a new appointment, and that's for a 3-year term. Zoning Board of Adjustment. We have reappointments of Anthony Smith, Michael Rose, and Jeffrey Pereira. These are all, Anthony Smith and Michael Rose are for 4-year terms. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
And Jeffrey Pereira. He's finishing up a 2-year unexpired term.
Motion to approve, Jeff?
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Okay, Board of Health. We had 2 members who have put in for reappointment. Joan Check, and thank you for your service on the First Aid Squad, and Brian LaForgia. There a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
And it looks like Joan, let me go back. Joan Check will be finishing up, it's a 3-year term. So is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
And Brian LaForgia is a 2-year term.
So moved.
Second. Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
Communications. We have 3-year terms, and these will be reappointments. Carrie Serenides, Andrea Levy, Amy Eilert, Patricia Carrera. Motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
There was a vacancy, and Chris Pawelko put in for a 3-year term. There a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
And Benjamin Good put in to be a junior commissioner again. It's a 1-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Swazinski?
Yes.
Palomini?
Yes.
And the rest are mayor's appointments. The first one is Access for All. I am appointing Doreen Ryan and Paul Mutterer, each for a 1-year term for reappointment, and thank you, thank you, thank you. There is a Kathleen McCarthy that did not put in, so there's a vacancy. If you know her, if she's interested, to let me know. That's the name I have here. But if you know of anybody, we have room. We'll add them, As far as emergency management, we have a full list of one-year terms, and the only people that put in for reappointment, and the only people that even submitted were Douglas Brown, David Potash, Edward Tryon, and Aaron Longo. I know that he was away, Roy Balberger, who's the coordinator, do you know when he's returning, Mr. Kern? Was he back?
He was back today.
Could you, someone get in touch with him, because
Sure.
we have nobody for the emergency management.
Mayor, I'll follow up with him as liaison of emergency management.
Okay, thank you. Library, mayor's appointment, Ann Russo to be the mayor's alternate for the one-year term, Jerry Peterson, reappointment for the five-year term, and we had somebody who did not put in, I do not know if she's interested, if anybody knows her, Lucille Nicolason. So there's an opening on the library if anybody's interested in being a trustee on the library board. We have a municipal alliance committee, and it's not been meeting, and that's something, do we have, Councilman Saliani, do you have a liaison to the municipal alliance?
Yes, I do. It's John McCann.
John McCann,
That's
will
me.
you follow up on this?
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
That's okay. Just so you know, it really is people from the police, the schools, the PTOs, PTAs, senior citizens, but they haven't met at all. And in the past, it's always been Mark Piercy, who's been the person who's been calling the meetings and doing everything, so I don't know.
I know last year I met
Right.
once with them.
Did nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
2022 Planning Board, oh, sorry, that was last year. Okay, for reappointment, Lee Hayman for a one-year term, he's the Class 2 official. Andrea Levy was the alternate one, she's expired, I'm moving her up to a full 4-year term because we have a vacancy. Sarah Michelle was an alternate 2, asking to have her move up to a alternate 1 position, so that'll be a 2-year term. And Ed Clark will, I'm appointing Ed Clark, who is our Shade Tree Commissioner. He will be great. He will give us all the information we ever wanted to know about trees and bushes, and he will be our alternate 2 on the planning board. Thank you, Ed Clark. Recreation, there was only 1 opening, a reappointment. It's also a mayor's appointment. And thank you, Stephen Catalano, appointing him to the 5-year term on rec. And then we have Shade Tree. Also mayor's appointment, Nancy Kraus, Bill Eilert, both have asked to be reappointed. Thank you, 5-year terms. Ray Carroll was on the Shade Tree, he has not put in. Plus, we have 2 alternates for vacancies. If anybody's interested in being on our Shade Tree Commission, we'd love to have you. Green Team, also a mayor's appointment. These are 1-year terms, they are unbelievable. Like I said earlier, they were able to obtain the silver certification for Oakland. Allison Fleeson, Andrea Levy, Brian Riley, Patricia Wyman, Carrie Terwilliger, Tracy D. Tola, Ron Petherbridge, William Eilert, and we have 2 junior members who didn't put in. That's Olivia Yeses and Elena Blank. So if you know of anybody, any of these students who want to be on the Green Team, Sustainable Oakland, please have them contact me, have them call anybody, have them contact Michael at Borough Hall. We'd love to have you. And I think I got everybody. Did I get everybody? Oh, they're reappointed. Yes. That's right, they were up for your terms. Tom Potash, Tom Connolly, and Joseph Moscovetra. I just thought, I'm sorry. Thank you.
And who was that for, ma'am?
Planning board.
Planning board,
Right.
so it's clear.
Yes. And now we have resolutions.
There were some raffle licenses, I believe, on the agenda under,
Oh, I see.
Communications
Oh,
Commission,
right,
yeah.
okay, sorry. Authorized raffle license number 1445 for Valley Middle School PTO for an on-premises 50/50 on March 17th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Authorized social affair permit for Oakland Elks Lodge, number 2167 for Texas Hold'em and Blackjack event on March 30th, 2023 at the Elks Lodge, 33 Rampo Valley Road. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And authorized raffle license 1446 for the Oakland Lodge, 2167 for casino night, which is the same night, March 30th, 2023, 33 Rampo Valley Road. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we have resolutions. I'll do as a consent agenda. If anybody wishes any pulled out, let me know. 2350, renew license for Borough property adjacent to 42 Riverside Drive. It's a request to license Borough-owned property adjacent to, and this is what you needed over here. 2351 is to confirm a grant submittal to the State of New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for local recreation improvement grants for the Oakland Rec Complex field refurbishment projects. 2352 is affirming the boroughs of Oakland's civil rights policy with respect to all officials. We have to follow certain procedures, and it needs to be established in a policy, and that's resolution 2352. 2353 is authorized refund for taxes to Anthony and Amanda Raffay due to overpayment in the amount of $4,262.89. Our CFO has verified that the amount is due and funds are available. This is for 22 Winding Ridge, Block 1203, Lot 3. 2354, authorized grant submittal to the State of New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for the 2023 tree recovery campaign. And the Borough of Oakland is applying for 500 tree seedlings to distribute to the residents of the Borough of Oakland on Arbor Day 2023. 55. Authorized transfer between budget appropriations which must be done from the current fund of $12,000, sewer operating fund $3,000, water operating fund $24,000. 2356 is authorized change order number 1 for Monhegan Avenue Emergency Water Main Repairs Project. The initial contract was awarded to Conquest Construction, Inc. in the amount of $139,551. Change order 1 is for additional excavation work in the amount of $21,789.44, and that's what the increase is. This resolution allows for that increase for a total contract amount of $161,340.44. 2356 is the authorized change order 1 for Monhegan Avenue repairs project. And is that this, that's not the same? Isn't that the same? An additional 56? It's exactly the same. Oh, I have 2 copies, that's why you gave me that second copy. 2357 is to authorize an auction of borough surplus vehicle. It's a 2004 Ford 250, and it has 104,320 miles. That is the mileage. 2358 is to authorize refund of taxes for Munish and Dawn Kumar due to overpayment of taxes in the amount of $3,047.40. And our CFO has verified that the amount is due and funds are available. It's for 41 Walton Avenue, Block 3801, Lot 41. 2359, authorized refunds of taxes to Robert Maletic due to overpayment in the amount of $3,374.87. And CFO has verified the amount is due and refunds and funds are available. It's for 35 Massasoit Trail, Block 5005, Lot 8. 2360 is to authorize refund of taxes for Michael Drake due to veterans deduction. A refund in the amount of $250. He resides at 14 Andrew Avenue, Block 5304, Lot 9. And to Michael, thank you for your service. 2361, authorized refund of permit fee for 393 Rampo Valley, oh no, it's 393 RBR LLC due to duplicate payment, and the amount is $100. Our CFO has verified the amount is due and funds are available. Is there any you wish to pull out? If not, motion?
Motion to approve?
Second? Roll call.
Councilmembers Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomino?
Yes.
We have an ordinance for final adoption, and it is 23 capital 900. Capital ordinance authorizing the making of various public improvements and acquisitions, appropriating the sum of $110,000 and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from the snow removal trust of $60,000. And I need a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wish to speak on this ordinance?
Motion closed?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion for final adoption of 23 capital 900?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmembers Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Kuzinski?
Yes.
Palomino?
Yes.
We have work session. Mr. Kranz.
Thank you, Mayor. The bulk of the work session tonight is to discuss and explain and answer any questions you may have regarding engineering proposals to move forward with a number of projects that we have and are looking to undertake this year. The first is for the Truman Field refurbishment project that would substantially upgrade the lighting, as well as make some irrigation improvements, and then there'll be some ancillary work done to the field itself. Second, we have a proposal for Seminole Avenue Improvement Phase 3. This is the third round of a project that is backed partially by NJDOT municipal aid grants. Typically, we do this as part of the overall road program. But as you know, the last couple of years, our program's gotten off to a late start, and quite frankly, including this DOT aid grant has been one of the sources of concern about that because of the review time by the NJDOT of the specs and the like. So we thought that for this year, it would be better to pull that out, handle it as a separate project. And the third one is to memorialize work that Boswell Engineering provided on the Monhegan Avenue emergency water main replacement that took place last month. You have copies of the proposals and write-ups in the report, and the engineer is here and happy to answer any specific questions that you may have.
That's John. No, not you, John. John.
Yes, yes, if the council has any questions on the proposals that we submitted, I'm here to answer.
So I have a question about Truman Field. Just, so we're talking about lights on Truman Field?
Yes, predominantly. Down the front lights, so what we'll do is help move traffic off the main rec field too, which will save the rec field, and also help with the high school with their.
And then have we reached out to the residents in the area about putting lights on Truman Field?
No, not at this point. I would point out that it is rather remote. There's a couple of residents probably on First Ave in that area. Folks on Roosevelt were all, their homes were blown out. So we don't expect there to be much resident impact in the area. But we did have a discussion about that in the project planning stage about making sure that the design has adequate shielding so that none of those residents have glare from the lights.
And Russ, just so you know, in the past, that field was used with portable lighting for several years.
Okay.
Up until 9:30, so they had portable lighting there for years.
But there will be, so there'll be more traffic going there, we're expecting, or, I mean, because we're saying it's gonna alleviate, so I assume we're gonna be using it more.
Well, no, what happens is actually field development issues, right, especially for certain programs, and you have more there. So what it alleviates is the field use, so instead of having to squeeze 15 people on the rec field, we'll have more field space to do better things.
Okay.
John, our engineer John
Yes.
Amari, do you agree about the lights not having an impact on any of the residents around the
I
field?
do. The technology now is pretty spectacular. They're able to, what they call is create a curtain. We talked about this during our project meetings with the Rec Commission with Rich, and we looked at the aerial photography, saw the distance the houses are away, and we're very confident that there'll be no impact to residences. It's right next to 287. You have lights from 287 as well there, so.
And also, Russ, if I could just add, I was liaison to the Rec Commission when this was brought forward, and as Councilman Saliani said, it was really a way to, I think your daughter played soccer down there, right?
Yeah, sure.
And that field, was, quite frankly, was in pretty rough shape.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was beat up, so they're gonna reseed it, they're gonna really bring that field back up to standards. And as you know, playing soccer down there with, the generators running and the lights and everything, it wasn't very conducive to, the small kids and, really trying to learn soccer. So the Rec Commission decided, this is probably a good project to move forward into next year. And, Councilman Saliani's prior, now has taken over for me. So, yeah, the commission was in support of doing this work, and it really is a benefit to the community.
Okay.
All right?
That's fine.
Any of the other projects?
So Seminole, I'm on Seminole.
You
just
are.
So everybody knows. And it says the Calumet to Hiawatha, but going from Calumet towards Heights School,
That section is part of a ongoing project that the contractor has requested a time change order that will be for the governing body next month. The contractor ran into some scheduling issues at the end of last year, and he's still under contract to complete it. However, he ran up against weather and cold conditions, and so Rich and I have been trying, we tried our best to move that forward at the end of last year, and the council will be considering a time change order at the next council meeting to grant to that contractor, because he ran into difficulties.
Tough year for
Yes, but proudly so. We were able to install that sidewalk along the entire Lake to Seminole, and it's going to be impressive when it's done.
It looks great, yeah.
But I don't understand, all right, are we finished with Seminole?
I'm good.
We're on Monhegan?
Sure.
But I just read that resolution, so how is this different?
I'm sorry, Mayor, what was your
On
question?
Monhegan.
So the resolution was a contract change order. We had issued an emergency contract for the work.
Right.
Because there was a water main break there, and we decided that we needed to replace the whole section of pipe there. So the contractor, basically what they encountered on site led to the change order, because the site conditions
Right,
were
that was
unexpected.
the
Right, so that's for the
resolution.
Right, that's the resolution for the construction. This was Boswell aided in the project with guiding the contract, construction, inspection services, and the like. So this memorializes their effort to do that.
$10,000 worth.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions?
Okay.
All right, then no questions. Then the next item is the American Legion.
Yeah. So through another grant that we secured from Community Development, actually related to COVID funds, Senior Center was able to buy new chairs to replace the original ones, which are now 30-ish, yeah, they're about 30 years old, I would think. Those were just delivered this past week, by the way. So the question arose of what to do with the old chairs. There's 151 of them. The American Legion actually has expressed an interest in buying them from the borough to replace the chairs that are much older that they have at the Legion Hall. So the proposal for you would be to have the American Legion buy those chairs at $5 per chair is what they've offered. I want to let you know I did look at Municipid, Gov deals and the like to kind of get a market rate of what these chairs go for, and it's a little hard because there's a wide variety of styles. And the ones I did find were sort of in that you know, $1 to $10, $5, $6 per chair range. So as much as anything else, I think this probably represents a decent fair market value for the chair.
And there are 150 chairs?
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
I mean, the American Legion is part of this community and it's made up of our community. Why can't we just donate the chairs to them?
As far as I'm aware, and I can freely stand to be corrected when I read the local public contracts law as far as auctioning off borough property, it says you're supposed to get the fair market value for it.
But you said it could be $1.
Yeah, can we make it $1? Or?
I'm just letting you know what I found.
Right,
but
didn't you say the
I-
minimum is
I am
$1?
happy to be overruled by the borough attorney.
Could we do $1?
Unfortunately, this is not under like the local lands and buildings law, which would allow us to do that to a nonprofit organization. We'd have to have an appraisal or something, or evaluation that certainly can take into account how the chairs have been depreciated.
Over
Could-
30 years.
could
Have
we-
you
30
seen
years,
those chairs?
Could we lease them to them for $1 a year?
Before you answer that question, have we done, I mean, does it have a fair market value? I didn't quite,
Have you seen those chairs?
that's what I'm
I've been
saying,
told.
that's why I'm asking. I don't think it has a fair market value. I think they should be charging us to take them.
Disdain.
Basically, I looked at other government auction websites and said, okay, what are these going for on these auction websites? And, okay, you know, it's a bit of a range, but they're a few bucks a chair, you know, that seems to be what's
I
out
just
there.
when you said $1 a minimum.
I would like to go,
You know,
as low as we can.
But,
But-
We can't give them away.
but, you know,
Couldn't we-
it's whatever you guys want to do.
Well, we
couldn't,
can't give them away
Well,
because that
no,
would be a
But I
violation.
said, couldn't we lease them to them for $1 a year in perpetuity? Or 10 years, for 10 years.
They won't may not last a year.
I would get rid of them and not lease them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could we do $1?
By the way, if you're in Europe, they approached us and were offering a $5 a
So
chair.
can we
No, I
counter
understand.
propose and $1 a chair?
I don't think they'd say no.
I would like to do that if we can. so.
Yeah, I think you should negotiate.
Okay.
Against us.
And only give them and only charge them for the chairs that are
Usable.
good.
I spoke with them about that. They want all of them.
They want all chairs?
They want all of them. They said,
Have they
"Okay."
seen those chairs?
Yes, they have. They were with Councilman Pignatelli. They walked through the senior center.
Councilman? Well, you can't even vote because you're a member. and
I
you're-
can't vote, but
You've
the
seen those chairs.
the chairs that they have at the Legion are 50, from 1950s.
Oh, these are better?
So they're about 70 years old. No, yeah, these are better.
It's not
Yeah,
great.
these are only 30 years old. The ones they have are 70 years old. Can we make a motion on the floor?
Well, it's under work session and according to the bylaws, we're not supposed to do that, but can we put it on?
I can have a resolution on
Next-
at the
next
next
meeting.
meeting. If you want to
So
put a buck,
what is the suggestion?
a bucket chair, I'm fine with a bucket chair. I was just letting you know what I found.
They could do a payment plan. $1, is that acceptable, $1 a chair?
I think I would like the opportunity to look at a different appraisal site instead of just one. I think you're gonna find that this is salvage value, based upon what I've seen. I may be wrong, but I'd like the opportunity to at least look at it.
Sure.
You mean you want to go higher?
No.
Oh,
No, I think-
No,
Well, maybe
I
you
don't
can do
think-
$50 for
I-
every chair, you're done.
It may be 50 cents a chair. I mean,
Maybe
to
10
me,
cents a chair.
to me, these chairs are salvage value, not market value.
I think they would accept $1 a chair.
Okay.
So
So I'll
is
just-
that acceptable to put it as a resolution?
Yes.
Meantime, everybody should go look at the chairs.
I mean, how many chairs are there?
151.
150. I mean,
And if they want to do a payment plan, we'll take a payment plan. Thank you. Any new business? All business? All right, Borough Council committees. How about you?
Oh, I'm sorry, did you say new business?
Yes.
Sorry. Excuse me. I
Okay.
have new business.
Go ahead.
I'm sure all of us are aware of the road construction project on Hiawatha,
You oppose?
Yapo,
Lakeside.
Seminole.
Lakeside?
The particular complaint that I had was the PSE&G
project on Hiawatha. Evidently, they used 3/4 inch stone rather than 1/4 inch stone, and the pavement is breaking up and these rocks are flying and hitting cars. I'd like us to contact PSE&G. We don't want to wait till, I don't think that the residents on Hiawatha or Seminole or any other street should wait to have these potholes repaired. I know when I drove the ambulance, I'm almost hit several of them, and when you have a patient in the back, depending on their condition, if you hit one pothole, it's very uncomfortable for them. So maybe, Rich, can you contact PSE&G and tell them they did a lousy job of patching?
Pat, we've already been in touch with them earlier this week. Matter of fact, the borough engineer was actually going to go out this afternoon to see what repairs they've
Well,
made. So
Matt from the
he can-
first aid squad.
He can
notified
report
us.
on that.
In addition, John did, since we talked about the roads, that was another issue. Did, Mr. Klenz, have you talked to the, there was a resident on Lakeside whose car was damaged from a pipe sticking out, and his car had to be repaired, and I'm waiting for the bill.
Yeah, Mayor, by the way, that resident has not contacted my office yet, number one. Number two.
If you're listening, don't forget to
Right.
call me tomorrow.
Number two, the pipe that was sticking out, apparently, all it was the cap to a water valve. And DPW went out and,
Well, maybe by the
reinstalled it
time they went
correctly.
out, but this car was damaged, and, all right, so I will speak to the resident again.
Okay.
Actually, I just want to follow up on this conversation with Mr. Coons. Obviously, with all the work the public service is doing in town, we've got Dogwood, which is dug up. We've got Seminole, we got Hiawatha, we got all these roads. What is the end date, and when do we foresee the actual roads being repaved so we can get back to, I mean, it's pretty bad out there.
yeah. So you see Mr. Ukemic raising his hand. He has a meeting with PSE&G tomorrow. We have a follow-up road program meeting on Friday on the heels of that. So we'll know by the end of the week, or should have a much better understanding at the end of the week of when those roads are going to be repaved.
John, please stress, please stress that the emergency vehicles are having a problem hitting these potholes.
Councilman, I was in contact with Paul Drake, who is Public Service and Gas Community, I forget his title, but he assured me that they went to go look and patch yesterday and today as much as they could with the weather coming. I drove all the patches today before the mayor and council meeting. I saw precisely now the problems with regard to the small aggregates that have been collecting along the side of the road. So I will follow up with Mr. Drake tomorrow.
After the rain.
Plus the meeting, after the rain, that they basically have to hit these streets with a sweeper to pick up all this gravel that's accumulating on the side of roads, because in all fairness, this time of year to patch, it's going to fall apart.
Even if it's a cold patch, but they're not using the correct aggregate.
But regardless, they have to keep our streets neat and clean during their extensive upgrade process.
I would just, it's the intersections of it too, like you'll come to a stop and then you go to accelerate from the stop and you're spinning your tires.
Are you going too fast accelerating?
Yes, I'm going much too fast, no. I mean, I'm at a stop and I'm just
All
trying,
right.
I'm trying to make a
No,
left.
no rolling stop either.
Do we have a sense of how much more gas lines are going to be replacing?
I will
next year
find
or
that
two?
out tomorrow.
And what streets?
Yes, I will find all of that out tomorrow. They have an extensive map. Our DPW went out and logged all the work done so far. I have all that information. So the key questions tomorrow is how much more you have to do, how much longer is it going to take, and when are we going to start seeing the restoration of these roads permanently.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
do you remember when they put the piping on 202? Yes,
For-
and they
for-
only wanted to repave the half
Yes,
of
correct.
202, and we insisted they do the entire road.
Yes. yeah.
So, for example, on the lower ends of Yorpo, don't let them just do half the side of the road where the pipe was. They have to do the whole road.
Understood, Mayor.
Thank
And
you.
we'll have you take your car and do the test for us.
Yes, thank you. That'll be the test. I did that on Walnut Street when I went to visit the house with my car. That was the test. Okay, now with committee reports. Councilman.
I have no report.
Councilman Kamala.
Thank you, Mayor. For the green team, they had styrofoam pickup, drop-off collection, which took place. They filled 2 roll-off containers, approximately 500 pounds. I know Councilman Pignatelli was there. Also, they collected 480 pounds of people's Christmas lights that were sent for recycling as well, and they partnered with Ace Hardware on that. And I'm happy to announce that the chair is Ali Fleeson, vice chair is Brian Riley, and they look forward to some big projects going into next year. For planning board, we've had a couple meetings. We had our first kickoff meeting, and as you know, the big push really right now is, we're trying to get in front of the sewers and really get to downtown in a position where, we can really control the destiny of the town going forward. We met 2 weeks ago prior to the planning board meeting and a subcommittee meeting. The mayor, myself, Chairman Kodash, Joe Markoveccia, Andrea Levy. We had our borough planner there. And, we kind of really set up goals to meet with a timeline. And, we hope to have a first draft of the streetscape. The architecture, we're going to have an ordinance in front of the governing body dealing with architectural commission and also historical commission so that we can really start setting the stage for what the downtown architecture is going to look like. We're also looking to expand the footprint because we're really at a very interesting crossroads here with the sewers coming through. If we don't get in front of this, we're never going to see anything happen downtown. It's going to be a mishmash like Franklin Lakes and other towns, but we want to get some type of uniformity here. We had another follow-up meeting today at 5 o'clock prior to the council meeting. And right now, the entire planning board is going to be involved with preparing this document, work with the planner, the borough engineer, our other professionals, and the planning board. And we hope to have something in front of the council sometime by April, so we can start really moving forward on this. But I had a question for our borough attorney. Just a concern, maybe you can clear something up for you, Counselor. I was concerned about the appointments and how the appointments work on the planning board. I had a concern that we had a meeting that took place with several people whose term expired. I was told that we can carry, even though their term expired, we can carry them for an additional 30 days. And I just want to be clear in my mind, because I did ask the question prior to the meeting, that we can indeed carry people over for another 30 days, and we're not putting the borough in jeopardy if we're voting on resolutions and making planning board business.
I did speak with the planning board attorney. He said that has been the practice of the planning board.
Okay.
There are boards that, or I should say, there are certain boards that have taken the position that there are no holdovers. We took a look at case law, and it appears that there can be holdovers on the board, just like it occurred last year with our zoning board of adjustment.
Okay. So there's no legal jeopardy. Thank you, Counselor.
Well, we hope not. Like I said, there's no case law, so.
What does that mean, there's no case law?
Well,
Sorry.
there's been no case that challenged the ability of boards to challenge the board's decision based upon the fact that there wasn't a reappointment.
Okay.
But in this instance, it's my understanding that at least one of the items, there was no action taken on, which was a resolution.
Okay. The reason I ask the question is that every now and then we see articles in the paper with several towns where people were not reappointed properly and they got into legal trouble. But if you're comfortable with it, then I'm comfortable with it. Thank you, sir.
I took the position, I had asked our planning board attorney and our zoning board attorney, and Councilman McCann would, the analogy I made is if you're a holdover tenant, you still have the rights as being a tenant, you still have to pay your rent, and that was the analogy I made. Was that a good analogy?
Absolutely.
Oh, Councilman Pignatelli agreed with me.
Very good.
I can't comment.
Okay. Thank you. Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
I'm sorry, we finished or not?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a message from our police chief, Mr. Sanzeri, Keith Sanzeri. patrol during the month of December, officers conducted 204 motor vehicle stops and issued 271 motor vehicle summonses. Officers made 1 arrest for driving under the influence. Also, there were 5 car burglaries on the north side of town during the month. The police department would like to remind residents to always lock their vehicles, remove valuables, and bring their fobs into their homes. And I don't know if you all heard on the news today, and I believe it was Long Island, but it was one of the boroughs of New York. They had 2 burglaries where people were followed home from the supermarket. The people pulled their car into the garage, shut the car off, went inside but left the fob in the car. The burglars went right into the garage, started the car, and took them away. So it's very, very important. I've never left my fob in a car, but you know, if you're in that habit, you're really at risk. Take your fob in. One person mentioned that if you have a new car, when you shut the engine off, the mirrors will fold in, so you know whether or not you shut the car off. But really bring those fobs inside, or else they could steal your car. That's from the Chief of Police. The Board of Health had their reorganization meeting. Steve Tiffinger was elected president, and Brian LaForge was elected vice president. They renewed their contracts for animal control. They do a terrific job. I haven't had one complaint since they've been taking care of our town. Environmental Commission. The Environmental Commission would like to approach the council again for open space, to apply for open space funding from the county for bi-county. We all are aware, we got a copy from our attorney, that bi-county went into court to try to have our wastewater management plan withdrawn. The judge denied their appeal and ruled against bi-county. So bi-county has had several setbacks concerning their property. There's going to come a time where it's just not going to be worth it for them to keep applying for these orders from the judge and having them denied. They would like to have the Conservancy file again with the county for a county open space grant to buy bi-county. I know we had at one time put together several sources which amounted, I believe, $8 million from Highlands, DEP, Green Acres, a local resident, county open space, but I think bi-county wanted 17 million instead of 8 million. It's been said repeatedly by our council and other members that it's just not profitable for them to develop that piece of property. That's why they keep going to court. Fortunately, the court has ruled against them. So if the council is amenable, the Environmental Commission would like us to apply for a county grant.
And you want us to pay the difference?
No. I mean, we don't know. No. What I'm saying is, they've been denied so many times that the property is probably worth less than what they want. At least let us negotiate.
Well, we can always apply. I mean, we should
We can always apply,
We should
yeah.
be applying for the grant.
That's what I say, let us apply to the county, and also, Rich, we under contract still with the Conservancy?
We are, for that, I'd have to check the language in their contract. There may be a specific charge
Okay,
for that one.
yeah.
Keep in mind that whenever we apply for open space, there are mandatory appraisals that accompany that, so there is a cost to applying as well.
I don't know if people realize, I certainly didn't, it was brought out to me, that's the information I've been given, that ridge is part of the Revolutionary War's Lookout Ridge. That's where members of the Continental Army would stay and look to see if the British were coming. So it is important to maintain that ridge. I mean, it goes all the way, I know Riverdale Quarry, there's a lookout ridge there. That's all part of it. So I think there is a definite value. I mean, we all love open space, let's face it. Oakland is very, very fortunate We have several places of open space here in town, but that would be a tremendous addition to our inventory for open space. And again, if the council's okay, let's have the Conservancy look into it, find out if there's a charge, and also apply to the county for open space grant.
I thought we did.
Well, we did, we got it, and we didn't use it because Bi-County
Yeah, at some
denied
point
it.
we gave it back
Yeah.
because, you know, we had tried to put together a coalition
Correct.
amongst the states and nonprofits and stuff. The Green Acres actually at the time was not able to come to the table because of the affordable housing issues that were there. I don't think that aspect of it has changed.
We weren't even close to what they wanted.
Well, part
Well,
of
they
the issue.
wanted 17 million
Well, part of
more
the
than
issue
they
though
gave
was
us.
getting a firm price from them. They
Right.
never gave us.
But like I said, they've been denied so many times, they have to someday or another count their losses and accept a reasonable offer. I believe it's a reasonable offer. If you can't develop that property, I think it's a reasonable offer. That's what I think.
Hey, and that, you know what? I've always told my children, never hurts to ask.
Yeah, we can ask. So if council's good with it, let's move forward with that. Also, the Environmental Commission will be taking over some participation in Great Oak Park.
I thought it was the Arts Committee. It's
They
rec?
want to.
It's rec?
Sorry?
Rec, you mean for the concerts?
No, for
No, it's the Arts
the
Committee.
environmental aspect of the.
Oh,
of
the
the
environmental,
park,
okay.
yeah. Recreation, they'll still do concerts, et cetera. But, you know, like, they want to have another pollination garden in there. Pollinating insects are extremely valuable, obviously, you know, to farmers, beekeepers, et cetera. So I'd even volunteered to have my property be a pollinating garden.
Oh,
Yeah, part of my yard, close to the road, so hopefully
you're gonna have bees?
attract a lot of.
Honey bees?
Yeah, I mean, you know Arnold Ludke, right? He has a beehive 2 doors from my house.
We've had honey from the bees from Oakland.
Yeah.
The honey is incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. So they also want to take a look at, I believe, there was a proposal to build a small bridge. When I say small, I mean, you know, maybe 10, 12 feet wide or long or whatever, over the brook. They're going to look into that also. I think that's it, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Councilman?
Yes, we had our first finance meeting the other day. It's budget season. And the team is working diligently on trying to, you know, save every penny that we can. And I know we're gonna meet again soon,
We're in for sometime next week.
sometime next week, okay. And then just public events, if you're interested in joining the group, it's a great group. We do a lot of good things in town, and can never thank the committee enough for everything they do, and just please join. Thank you.
Did you, since I missed the last meeting, did you announce about the new school election date?
Yes, we
You
did.
had mentioned it, I think. Yeah, so the schools moved the election to November. So this November, we will be voting for the high school board members, the local board members, and all the people running for office. It just became too much money and too little participation. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of sad that it moved to November. I think the school board elections belong in April. I just think it's totally apart and separate and should have remained that way. I don't know why they ever moved it to begin with, but that's just my opinion. And now, basically, you don't get to vote on the budget. So, but they moved it, so no more voting in April.
Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. Couple updates tonight. Oakland Communications Commission update. I had my first meeting with the group on Monday night. It was great meeting with the members and finding out specifically what each committee does. Thank you to Ryan and Jim for showing me around, giving me the grand tour. I've also been asked to mention that the newsletter committee is searching for additional volunteers to become writers, editors, and photographers. You can contact Chairman Ryan Schwertfeger at occ@oakland.nj.org. Also, the Welcome website and social media committee continues to work on a borough welcome packet. If you're a resident or a small business owner, please consider joining this committee, as your input would be greatly welcomed so that we can make this new initiative a success. The Oakland Television Committee is also looking for volunteers, especially if you have editing experience. The Bulletin Board Committee would also love to hear about events from nonprofits in town so it can be promoted on the Oakland TV Bulletin Board. You can do this by going to the Communications Commission webpage on the Borough website and click the button for the Bulletin Board Committee to learn more and submit your information. If you'd like to learn more, the Communications Commission has their next meeting scheduled for Monday, March 6th at 7:30 in the council chambers. My water and sewer updates. The decommissioning of the 3 sanitary sewer treatment plants. The completion date for the project is August 24th, 2023. The contractor continues to install the gravity sewer on Monhegan Avenue, Lakeside Boulevard, and Ramapo Hills Boulevard. Construction progress continues slowly due to a fragile water main and underground boulders in close proximity to the work. The work on these 3 streets will be continuing over the next 6 weeks, weather permitting. Iroquois Pump Station upgrades. This project is 85% complete and is expected to be completed by April. The PFAS compounds treatment at the 3 water production wells. Boswell continues to work with resolving comments from the NJDEP Land Regulation Group on floodway, wetland, buffer, and riparian zone impacts to secure those permits. The water main improvements on Acorn Street, Florence Avenue, and Birch Avenue. The project has been advertised for construction bids and are scheduled to be received by the borough tomorrow, January 26th. My library update. They will have Qigong Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Starting in February and running into March. No registration is needed, just drop in. On February 13th at 4 p.m., they will have a professional chess instruction for beginner chess players, grades 1 through 5. Registration is required. And lastly, on February 21st at 6:30 p.m., they will have an adult art class. Everything will be supplied by the library and instructor. Registration is required for this as well, and it can be completed on the library's website. That's it. Thank you.
We have a great library.
They really are. Great events.
So, as Bush Plaza update, as the mayor pointed out in her opening speech, Bush Plaza is very important to the town this year. So, as she mentioned, I just want to say we received a $127,000 grant. It's a matching grant, so now we're working, the group is working as they speak to put together what the layout will look like. They actually have a meeting tonight, which is started at 8 o'clock, where they're laying out the design with the committee, the design and what it's going to look like. We're also going over fundraising ideas and how we start getting fundraising, so that'll be coming out soon. So looking forward to big things from that, but it's very positive that we got the grant going forward. On the shade tree, hold on, that came in via text, I apologize. For a shade tree, at the end of last year, and I'm sure everyone remembers, we had lost our forester. A new forester was interviewed and hired. His name is Evan Davolo, and he met with the borough administrator and the chair of the Shade Tree Commission, and he's starting next Tuesday. So we will have our part-time forester back to help manage the process. The next update we have here is recreation update. So very simply, it's time to get your spring registrations going for recreation. It's imperative that you do this as early as possible, with as long as it takes to get uniforms ordered and teams put together. You really have to sign up now, so everything's ready for April 1st. It literally takes 6 weeks to order the uniforms and information. So right now, current recreation registrations that are open are T-ball and Oakland Little League 1st through 8th grade, T-ball and rec softball 1st through 8th grade, softball for 16 and under and 18 and under. So remember, softball offers a high school division for girls who want to play. So keep that in mind. So recreation goes away for the high school students. There's TGA spring golf classes, spring tennis, indoor spring volleyball, lacrosse clinic, and then the TGA spring sports break camps for K through 8th grade. The Recreation Commission has their first meeting of the year on January 30th. The reorganization meeting is at 7:30, and their first meeting will be at 8 p.m. at the Daniel Building. That's all I had, Mayor.
Thank you. And as I stated earlier, the Oakland Chamber of Commerce is being revitalized, and it's going to be a viable group. We have a great leader, thank you, Lindsay, and there will be the second big meeting will be a breakfast meeting in February. So if you own any businesses or want to get involved with the Chamber of Commerce, let me know. I will get you all the contact information. It's going to be very exciting, and they will help us with Bush Plaza, with the downtown, and get us, and we need more businesses, we need commercial, and that will help that's really what helps stabilizes taxes. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wish to speak?
Michael Elston, 78 Manitou. I know I'm wearing a different hat, so everybody stand up.
Just speak louder because the microphone's above you,
Okay,
and the hat may be.
Yeah, you need a baseball hat.
It absolutely could stop. I just had a quick question from Mr. Talamini. I read the whole thing about them changing the voting date for the Board of Education, but did you just say that we don't have the ability to vote on the budget anymore because of that?
Yes.
Well, if it's.
No.
The budget's never been on the same day. The budget was always, the vote for the budget was always a different day, so how would we lose? We're only one of 4 municipalities that have the right to vote on the K through 8 budget.
On election day, the local budget on the April election day, you would vote on the budget and you would vote for the
So the
candidate.
budget's, we still have the ability to vote for the budget?
No longer.
Wait a minute,
Wait a minute, everybody stop,
2%.
no.
Right.
What happened was, the towns that kept voting in the spring, the reason why they kept the voting in the spring was because it gave the residents the opportunity not only to vote for the school board candidates, but also to vote for the budget. Anybody who moved the election to November, the same day as the municipal elections, you still vote for candidates, but you no longer vote on the budget. However, as Councilman Pignatelli said, they have the cap that they have to,
2%.
right.
So
Yeah,
if
but
they,
they'll 2% us every single
If it's
year.
over 2%, then you have a right to vote on it. If it's under 2%, they've taken that right away.
Well, they took
No,
the right
I think you're wrong.
but
That's
they-
what I heard
but they-
originally.
But they took the right, we're only one of 4 municipalities left in Bergen County
No
that
more.
have the right.
Will be one of, there'll now be 3.
Well, hopefully,
It's the school board. I
understand.
got the call from the superintendent of schools that told me that it's the
It
school
got to be
board
too
voted.
the school boards have, I go to every school board meeting, they have tons of money. Tons of money.
no, but,
To take away someone's right to vote, they have tons of money.
but we have to pay.
We have to pay for it.
We have to pay for it. That's-
They have a surplus. All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
they held on as long as they could.
Anybody else?
Motion to close?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills to be paid. Councilman Solomon, you're on.
Bills to be paid, $1,147,836.21. So moved.
Second.
If you read the bills list and reviewed it, then you should vote. Roll call.
Council members Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Lizinsky?
Yes.
Talamini?
Yes.
Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next meeting will be right here in council chambers, February 8th at 7 o'clock. Be safe going home tonight.
Yeah.